Hello and welcome to episode, I think, 6 of the Morning Heater, where we give you like 6 MLB plays in less than 6 minutes, presented by GoldBoys.com, the Gold Boys Network, also presented by Pickett Sports and Boom Fantasy. Download both of those apps. Use code FaceOff40 on Pickett if you want to help Brian, or code GoldBoys on either one. And yeah, gonna talk a little bit again how Pickett is just necessary if you're betting on an MLB. It just is. What's going on, man? You want to give your
Not much,
give your
yeah.
plays first?
Yeah,
Philly suck, by the way. Go Yankees. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
we finally got on the board. Yeah, I was gonna say Pickett's a big thing too. Is because the first one I got, this actually opened at minus 130ish on FanDuel last night, but on like Sugar House, Barstool, all those books like that, I got it at plus 113. It's still plus 100 on DraftKings, but I took Dylan Cease over 7.5 strikeouts. It's so tough to take a higher line like that earlier in the year, but this guy's coming up a 10 strikeout performance, and the biggest thing with Cease is, as you can tell with the mustache there, he's got the mustache power. Where I mean, he went 6 1/3 last game, which is big for him. His biggest thing is his control and making sure he's throwing strikes. And last week he did a great job with that, and he gets the Giants lineup that's striking out 12.5 times a game. I mean, it's just pathetic at sometimes, but I mean, their righties are striking out 29% in the projected lineup, and all hitters is around 25%. He hit this line 18 of his 32 games last year, and his 15% strikeout rate, swing and miss rate should be like it should mow through this lineup of the Giants. It's just not making contacts. I mean, you look at some of these guys in the lineup. You got Villar, you got Conforto. They're like 33%, 40% guys. Where if he plays 6 full innings here, I actually have him projected at 9.1 strikeouts, and getting plus odds for a guy like Cease against this lineup is just awesome.
Yeah, I love that line. Well, I love the pick. The line was, I guess, kind of what scared me away, but mostly I'm taking a small step back on props and looking at first fives today because it's been a rough couple of days for me on the prop side. But yeah, the Giants are striking out a ton. Just quick numbers, they're leading the league in kind of the standard K percentage. They are also versus righties and lefties. The top ranked or allowing the most strikeouts in what I call the true strikeout percentage. So the total percentage of outs that are strikeouts, basically. So
I'll say this:
huge spot.
they're striking out so much where you know for a fact eventually the curve will flatten a little bit. But I just don't think Dylan Cease is the guy that you're going to see the regression with.
My first play is a little bit of a weird one. I took kind of a Nick Larson style parlay ladder almost. Pablo Lopez playing against his pitching against his former team in the Marlins, and also pitching against the other half of that trade, I guess, Luis Arias, who's to me the best contact hitter in baseball, and it's not close. So what I did was I took a ladder of Lopez for 6 strikeouts and Arias for a hit. And then I went up and took Lopez 7 strikeouts, or his over 6.5 line, and Arias for 2 total bases. That's plus 349. And then I took Lopez for 8 strikeouts and Arias for 2 hits. That's plus 717. So I did like three quarters of a unit on the first one at minus 109. The hit and the 6 strikeouts, half a unit on the 2 bases, and 7 strikeouts at 349. And then a quarter unit on the 8 strikeouts and 2 hits at plus 717. A little bit of a revenge narrative there, obviously, for both sides. But Arias has just been on fire. And again, I truly think, and me and Nick were actually talking about this last night, he's the best, maybe the best hitter in baseball, but absolutely not even a conversation, the best contact hitter in baseball. And in a great spot for Lopez strikeouts as well, against the Miami team that is striking out quite a bit early in the season, at least, especially against right-handed pitching. I've got them as the third ranked strikeout target for a right-handed pitcher. What's your next one?
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm staying the same game. I'm taking, actually, last time I was on this play, I took his under. I'm taking again. Jesus Luzardo, under 6.5 strikeouts. I mean, last week it was 5.5 against the Mets. Now it's 6.5. He didn't hit it last week. He stayed under for us last game, but he gets bumped up, and I swear this line feels like they were expecting Joey Gallo to be in the lineup. A huge strikeout rate. I trusted the Twins yesterday. He struck out in like 3 pitches, all right down the middle. He actually struck out twice yesterday, I believe, but there's no Gallo in this lineup, and that sounds weird to think that one guy can change a line so much, but getting 6.5 at minus 110 without Gallo, and also the other big K rate is it Larnach? I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is another big K rate guy, big lefty bat. He's been batting third, and they moved him to an eighth. So the fact that there's no Gallo and you're moving the other big K rate guy down to eight means that Luzardo should only see him twice. And Luzardo's strikeout rate against lefties is 5% higher than righties. I mean, they're both pretty solid rates, but he's only going to see one lefty the entire lineup. And the Twins are a fun team to kind of back early in the year because as many guys as they have with like higher strikeout rates from last season, this season they're at 18%. They're just not striking out as much. It's 21% against lefties. And I like this lineup a lot. And I also like the fact they're coming off a game where they got absolutely shut out, where you hope they come out hungry in a day game and they just pump the ball against a guy like Luzardo, who has struggled against, certain teams with control. And if he leaves him over the plate, they could get to him early, which would be nice. And the Miami Marlins, they didn't have any pen action yesterday with the complete game by Sandy there. So if there's any trouble early for Luzardo, they have a fully rested pen to pull him earlier if need be.
Yeah, I like that too, and you're right. The twin strikeouts has just been down, especially against lefties. So I like that spot a lot. You could throw that under on with my two of my legs and probably get something.
I will say this is one of those things where you talk about laddering Lopez, which I like. I wish there was a chance where I don't know if I'd do it in this case, but I think under strikeout ladders would be like a cool idea. But we just don't get it offered because this is one where if I could get like under 5.5 at like plus 200 or plus 210, I would totally take it as a sprinkle.
Yeah, I would like that too. It'd be really fun, especially if you get like under 3.5 or something ridiculous. That'd be cool. My next play, I tweeted this out earlier because I do think the line's going to move if it hasn't already. Hopefully it hasn't. I got the Reds first five plus a half on the run line, but that was pretty juiced. So then I combined that with the Rays first five money line. So that came out to plus 134 on Barstool. So I took it for a unit. Quickly, the Rays are have McClanahan going today against the pitcher that I auto fade and Patrick Corbin because he's just not good at baseball. Rays offense has been doing pretty well also, and the Nationals lineup just isn't good and really isn't going to be all year. So I definitely like them on the first five money line. That's super juiced as well. But I don't know why the Reds are underdogs on some books still, especially in the first five money line. Stroman going for the Cubs, who's he's all right. He's not he's nothing crazy. But Hunter Green I think is definitely has the advantage on the pitching matchup. For the Reds, and is the Cubs lineup offensively maybe a little better than the Reds? Yeah, but it's not crazy. So I definitely think if you're giving me the draw also in the first five, which you get when you take plus a half, I love that. So again, just real quick, this was on Barstool. I got the Reds first five plus a half. So Reds on the run line first half. Combined that with the Rays first five money line, and it came up to plus 134 on Barstool for one unit.
I like that. I did see that. Yeah, that's the only problem with doing content is that sometimes lines you just hope they stay, which is even worse for strikeout lines. But the last thing I want to mention for my third play that I haven't locked in because I have been getting these weird, terrible not beats, but just like heartbreaking L's on player performance double markets. It was my go-to last year. This year I'm killing it on actual straight props, but the player performance I've gotten the strikeout part right, but not the wins part as much. After the A's beat the Guardians in a walk-off fashion last night, I was like, oh, maybe I'll take it back a little bit. But the night game today, I do think there's value. It's right. It's plus 100 right now, and if I ended up seeing lineups and liking it, I will fire. Of Alek Manoah, 5 strikeouts in a win. Manoah got tagged last game, but I mean, he's kind of becoming like a villain character in the MLB. Like people like to hate on him. I love the guy for his style. Like he just throws strikes and he kind of just shoves, and I like that a lot. But the Blue Jays are starting off really rough this year. They're 2-3, but they get Zach Greinke, and Zach Greinke hasn't necessarily been terrible, but he also hasn't necessarily been great. And last year when he played the Blue Jays, he went 4 innings, but he got tagged for 8 hits, 4 runs, and he's just a guy that if you're going to be throwing soft against this lineup, they can really just make you pay for it. I think there's enough strikeout targets in the Royals lineup for Manoah to get 5, and I do think that the Blue Jays will find success against Greinke, because it's not their offense that's been struggling, it's their pitching. So I think Manoah gives them a good start, and I think they can score 4 or more runs, which they've done in like the last 4 games. So I like that at plus 100. And we'll see if it comes down to either having a great day or a bad day, and I want some action for the late game. I think that's a really good look for the Blue Jays to come back here.
Yeah, and Manoah did get shelled last time out, but that was against the Cardinals lineup, and the Royals lineup is not the Cardinals lineup, so I don't think that's happening tonight either. My last play, I'm on the Mets first 5 plus a half. This again was just a weird line. If you look up and down the Mets lineup versus the Brewers lineup, like, it's not close offensively, right? The Mets just have way more firepower. I know Corbin Burns is why that line is what it is, and the Mets aren't the favorite here. But he got shelled last time in his first start this season. You look at his first 2 starts last year, and it took him 3 or 4 starts to really kind of figure it out and dial it in. And I remember that specifically because I bet on him his first 2 starts and got rolled. So I definitely like I like the Mets here, especially, again, taking the draw with us at plus a half for the first 5. With David Peterson on the mound, who didn't look bad in his first start, and really, he's never looked awesome, but he's never going to really get shelled for a bunch of runs either. So again, that's Mets first 5 plus a half. I got it at minus 120 on DraftKings this morning. I think it's still there, and I'm playing that for 1.2 units or to win a unit. I think that's the show. Anything else? Last thoughts? Been a little overtime again, but I love it.
Yeah, my only thing is lineups are filtering in. Keep in mind that this is a day where it's all day games. You might see some stars resting for the first time this year, so don't be too shocked if you see certain guys not in the lineups, because you might run into that today for the first set of day games.
Yeah, and it's also get out day, right, for most teams, and most teams are traveling tonight or tomorrow too. So this is the day where weird stuff can happen. So just be aware. So thanks again to Boom Fantasy, Pickett Sports. Use code GoldBoys. Use code BrianVsTheBooks or FaceOff40. GoldBoys.com to sign up, and we will see you tomorrow morning.